Hello. I wanted to spend just a few minutes taking a look at some peer review research because I know it can be intimidating at first, and I don't want it to be intimidating for you. I want to give you some shortcuts, tips, and tricks to help you to jump right into this. So, title of the article, journal, where it's found, all that information up on top. But the very first place that you need to be looking is at the abstract. This is where you will find no surprises, no secrets. All of the information should be reviewed here. It's not just a teaser. Everything, including results, should be included in the abstract. So read this very carefully and decide if you want to go forward. The other thing I want to point out to you is keywords here. Those keywords will be very helpful for you. For example, say you read this article or you take a look at it and you think, this is kind of what I'm looking for, but not entirely. Take a really close look at those keywords and decide for yourself if maybe one or more of those keywords is what you should be searching, but not all of them. Perhaps you're looking at school reform and leadership, but not necessarily the impact of teaching and learning innovation, which is pretty germane to this article. So let's say that you've looked at the abstract, it looks good, something you're still very interested in, you've looked at those keywords and you're right on board with it. Move forward and carefully read through the introduction because that gives you the background and lets you know where this person is coming from. But after reading the introduction, I encourage you to not go on into what the theoretical framework or conceptual framework is, which is really a lot of literature review or setting the stage and background and even method. Those are things you can come to later. You may want to gloss through method to let you know exactly what that person did if you don't feel like you got that from the abstract. But then I want you to jump all the way to the discussion, which will be towards the tail end. At some point, results are reported, but then the discussion is really the interpretation of those results. And once you've looked at that information, if you still want to know more from this author, then you can go back and read the rest. However, this discussion, after having read the abstract and the introduction, is the most valuable part. One more thing I want you to think about is the list of references. It may be that you find that this article resonates for you, but you also see him tap into some ideas upon which he builds his study, and you want to know more about those. For example, you want to know about that role of perceived self-efficacy. So you see that Bandura's link here for the article that he wrote is listed. I encourage you to go to that, or Michael Apple's book here that has talked about cultural politics and education. There are meta-crawlers and research tools in the library that will help you go forward and backward with reference lists. But there is an easy way to do that without even having access to those sources. And just take a look at this reference list and find out if there might not be another study there that you want to take a look at. So, all of that said, if you still want to know more, dig in and read deeply. But don't waste your time on it if you're not really sure if this article is going to be meaningful for you. Hope it helps.